I think that we're heading towards an entirely new economic system, which could be summed up as surveillance capitalism, a system that would have probably horrified your grandparents when they were young. If you told them that in the future information becomes centralized in the hands of a few corporations and almost every single detail about the person's life, their preferences, their location, what they talk with their friends, their social network, all of that is being harvested by private companies. And then politicians and governments can use that information in order to manipulate people. They would listen to a system that not even in their horror stories is being described, because at least Big Brother in Orwell felt like the government is this evil entity that people want to fight against. In surveillance capitalism, most people not only like it, but they demand it. Like there are people that want more safety online. There are people that want the government and the companies to work together in order to crack down on things that they consider harmful. And it's interesting that the things that are considered harmful isn't things that the average Joe has to deal with. Like, for instance, if a car salesman lies to you about the product, that's not something that social media or the press even considers remotely harmful. If you make a bad bank loan, or if you happen to open a business without researching the market, like all of that, it's fine. You can even be misinformed online on that, and it's no problem. But the moment it's an idea that goes against the establishment, or it's a wrong type of framing, that's when the governments freak out. That's when the social media companies decide to step in. And so surveillance capitalism is not only about politics, it's also about movies and entertainment. Like, for instance, whenever a new AAA game drops, you'll notice a huge increase in bot activity. And the bots will argue with people, call them racist, sexist bigots for not wanting to buy the product. There's always dissent and disharmony online when a company shills a product. Astroturfing is the norm. Paying influencers is another thing. And all of this thing, like, it creeped in very gently to the point that most people didn't realize it. And so now that this is the status quo, you see academics freaking out, trying to reinforce it, trying to say that, okay, this is what we keep, this is what we discard. And so you get these types of articles every now and then, especially in Romania, which is kind of behind the trend, because up until now, we didn't really control our social media environment, and our politicians are freaking out. And so they need these types of articles to tell the public why TikTok, for instance, needs to be regulated, why the government needs to pass laws to force private companies in order to remove content that, may be legal in reality, but it's inconvenience for the establishment. And if you're wondering why the academics care so much, it's because they're horrified what's happening in America. Yesterday, I read an article, and you can see what happens when right-wingers get into power. If the academics have played politics up until then, if they were for censorship, which they are in this article, if they were for crackdown against expression, well, people will not save them when the right-wing governments try to legislate them. And so it's in their interest that the politicians that support bureaucracy, that support big government, keep getting elected. And in order for that to happen, they need to crack down on social media. So look at this nonsense, right? They say that TikTok is creating an alternative parallel reality. It's like, my brother in Christ, I just saw a guy cook a steak on the engine of a car and do a backflip. That's not an alternative reality, that's called content. And notice how they don't really care about Facebook, Google, or any of the other things, which also create alternative realities, because that's things that they control, right? When they go after TikTok, they're not upset that TikTok has spyware. They're not upset that, it's for the Chinese government. They're not upset of any of these, because the reality is they can't. Especially since all the other social media do the exact same shit. Like the new Windows that's coming out, apparently, has an AI which can screenshot everything that's on your computer screen, nonstop. What are we talking about privacy? What privacy in 2025? You do not have an argument. Most people don't fucking care about privacy, right? Like, seriously, imagine you can have on your screen your credit card, your ID, or something like that. The Microsoft AI just screenshots it, and then you complain about TikTok. I mean, you could, but you're complaining about the drop in the ocean. I don't know how serious people are going to take you if you're just having a teacup, getting a little bit of salt water, and complain about that when the ocean is right there. But no, the reason they're upset is that they don't have as much control over it as they want. Like, listen to this. TikTok manipulates emotions. Wow, okay, so does every single woman on Instagram when she says she's not upset, she's just disappointed. Dangerous Chinese app. Okay, but it seems to be the only app where teenagers from the Zoomer generation get to say based on ironically. Like, it's not their fault that you guys have regulated and sanitized all the other apps to the point that teenagers don't want to use them. You're upset that someone is giving the market the product that they want while you're constantly suppressing the market. Just give a product that teenagers can enjoy, whatever that be. I don't know what the Gen Z likes. Probably something degenerate. I don't fucking know. Give it to them. Give it to them because they're going to get in power and they're going to give it to themselves anyway. And then they're going to also hate you and look at you with disgust and disdain, just like many generations do to the other generation, right? Give them what they like. Let them use it, and then it's not going to be Chinese. Then you're going to be in control. But if you're constantly, treating the new generation as if you know what's better for them, when they grow up and you grow old and you can't do it anymore, they're going to give it to themselves, and then they're going to treat you the same way you treated them. I love this one, it creates a parallel reality. Like, yeah, a reality where people aren't being taxed to death, and eggs don't have to cost more than the mortgage. This is why they're afraid, right? Like, they're afraid that people can talk about the past. The entire ideology that has taken roots, especially in the European Union, is the ideology of the progressives. It's the idea that as we're going forward, especially shepherded by technocrats and intelligent people, things get better. And the one thing that is their kryptonite is to show how things used to be 15 years ago. So if you have like a social media which people can use and they can either see stuff how it was in the past, or they can see stuff from other countries which don't necessarily have to be better than ours overall, but like on specific things like the price of eggs can be better. Well, people start asking questions. Well, hold on a little bit. Why are eggs cheaper there and they're more expensive here? Who's fucking it up? And that's what they hate. This is what they mean by alternative realities. And it's kind of funny that Oxford University gets to talk about alternative realities when if you talk to a student from Oxford and they start bombarding you with the buzzwords of systemic injustices and complex systems of patriarchal misogyny, it's like, what the fuck are you talking? Like these people 20 years ago were saying that 1 out of 5 women are getting raped in England. And you're like, well, what? Like, talk to me about alternative realities, right? The university is not upset that social media is creating alternative reality. It's upset that it's losing its monopoly on creating alternative realities. Like, they complain that TikTok can make kids believe into alternative realities. My brother in Christ, you believe that men can get pregnant? Shut the fuck up. And by the way, I am so sick and tired of the kids argument. Kids should be banned from the internet, full stop. It seems that parents just simply cannot be responsible with children. And all of the censorship, all of the crackdown, all of the algorithm manipulation is always justified about protecting the kids. Well, if the internet is so dangerous, how about we protect the kids by simply banning them? Every parent that allows their kid to go to the internet should be treated the exact same way as a parent that allows their kid to go to a strip club. I'm so sick and tired of having the internet transformed into the kids' table. Every single thing on the internet needs to be created with kids in mind, and then the government abuse those systems anyway. They're not going to just be, all right, well, we created this system just for kids. Like, no, they want to normalize the idea that the internet shouldn't be a free market of ideas. It should be a place where ideas are being managed, where algorithms tell people what to think and how to express themselves and what ideas permeate society. And, we've been doing this for the last 10 years. It's not making a better society. It's not making a better place. And so, yeah, like, if kids are the problem, they should be banned from the internet. Should be a law that bans kids from the internet so that then the internet can just breathe. The same way that kids used to be banned back in the day when you had a scary movie at the cinema, right? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.